What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our college football channel. We continue with our 2023 schedule preview and projected record series. UCF is up next. UCF coming off of a 9-5 season, and of course now moving into the Big 12, so this is what their schedule will look like. They will open up on a Thursday night against Kent State on August 31st. Then they go on the road to face Boise State on September 9th. Then it's Villanova at home on September 16th, so no Power 5 teams in the non-conference. They do have Boise State, a very respectable team out of the Mountain West, and they have to go on the road for that game, so that one won't be easy, but you like the non-conference schedule here for UCF. Then they get into conference play on September 23rd. They'll go on the road to face Kansas State. That'll be a tough one there. Baylor next on the 30th. Then they get Kansas. That one will be a road game on October 7th. They'll get a bye week after Kansas, so they do have back-to-back road games here, but there is a bye week in between them, between Kansas and Oklahoma, but it's on the road at Kansas, then on the road at Oklahoma. Then they'll be home for West Virginia on October 28th. Then it's a road game against Cincinnati on the 4th. Oklahoma State on the 11th, Texas Tech on the road on the 18th, and then back home for Houston on the 25th. So you look at this schedule, again, talked about the non-conference, not all that tough. If you look at the conference schedule, they're going to play the newcomers except for BYU. So, they'll play Houston and Cincinnati, teams that, I don't know how they're going to do this schedule moving forward, but you wonder if UCF, Houston, Cincinnati, if they're going to play each other every year just because they came from the American, just to kind of keep those, I wouldn't call them rivalries, but keep those matchups going. That'll be interesting to see what they do there. But again, no BYU. Also, no Texas and no TCU. So arguably the top two teams in the Big 12 this year. They don't play either one of them. They don't play Iowa State either. So this is a really, really nice schedule for UCF. And the Big 12, they've been pretty kind to the newcomers, it seems. It seems like, we looked at Cincinnati. Now we've looked at UCF here. And we have not done Houston or BYU yet, so we'll see what those schedules look like. But Cincinnati and UCF both getting pretty favorable schedules from the Big 12, and that means UCF is not going to play Texas. They will not get a shot at Texas in the Big 12 because, of course, Texas and Oklahoma leaving for the SEC. So let's go to the projection here, and it sounds like a broken record here with these Big 12 teams because there are a bunch of them just in the same tier, and so you get a bunch of 50-50 games. But we're going to do it anyways and see how it comes out. This is the scale. If it's a 50-50 game, that'll be in the white. Games where I think the spread will be less than a touchdown. Under 20, over 80, those are games where I think the spread will be 20 or more points. 20-29, 71-80, those are games where I think the spread will be double digits. You've got 30-39, 61-70, those are games where I think the spread will be about a touchdown, 6, 7, 8, 9 points in that range. So let's start here with the easy wins. Kent State and Villanova, I think you can count both of those as wins. They're going to be, Villanova's close to 99%. Kent State's maybe closer to 90-95%, but still UCF should be big favorites in both of those games. Really easy ones there in the non-conference. You would be really shocked if they were to lose either one of those games. UCF has, a decent amount of production coming back this year. So, again, I'm putting them in that tier with all these other teams in the Big 12. We're talking about Baylor, Kansas, Oklahoma, Cincinnati, Houston. They're kind of all in that same tier. Yes, some will be better than others, but this is a very conservative approach, like I've said. And it's just based off of how the teams finished last year and then bumping them up or down a little bit based off of what they have coming back. I think Boise State's a game that UCF will be favored in, not by a ton, but I do think they'll be favored by, about a touchdown. 6 points probably. It is on the road. Boise State's not what they used to be. It seems like that program is slowly going down, and so talent-wise, UCF should be the better team. Maybe that should be a 50-50 game because it's on the road. I don't know, but I'm gonna put it in the purple here and say that UCF will be favored. And then I think Kansas State's the one game where UCF is going to be an underdog, a clear underdog. Kansas State was a team that won the Big 12 last year. So again, we're basing this off of last year a little bit, and then the difference in this and our predictions will be, only looking forward and giving my actual predictions. My predictions may look a lot different than these projections. These projections are just based off of where the teams finish, and again, moving them up or down a little bit based off of what they have coming back, and then you get a projection based off of how tough the schedule is. So you got Kansas State there, and then the rest of the schedule, the final 8 games, they're all 50-50 games. So I mean, it's wide open here for UCF. I think they'll be an underdog against Oklahoma on the road. They'll probably be an underdog against Texas Tech on the road. But they're not going to be huge underdogs in those games. And again, we don't know for sure how good these teams are going to be at this point, but I think it's close enough that you can count these all as, pretty much 50-50 games. It doesn't mean that, Oklahoma's a game where UCF's going to be an underdog. West Virginia's a game where they're probably going to be favored. So there's a big difference in those two games. But again, I just don't think the spread is going to be big enough to where I can say that UCF is going to be a touchdown favorite or a touchdown underdog. And that's why all these kind of get lumped together as 50-50 games. Looking back at this, maybe West Virginia should be in the purple. Maybe Oklahoma and Texas Tech should be in the yellow. But it really wouldn't matter. And remember, Oklahoma's a team that had a losing record last year. So if we're basing this off of last year, you can see where I'm going with this. But yeah, these are all 50-50 games. These are all games that could go either way. If you move some of them up into the purple, some of them down into the yellow, it's probably not going to change the projection anyways. But you get 7 and 5, and that seems to be, we may have almost every, based off of these projections, we would have almost every team in the Big 12 at 7 and 5 because it's the same formula for every team. You're going to have 2 non-conference wins that you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to get, and so you're going to have those 2 wins, and then it just works out to where you're probably going to split the other games, and you go 5 and 5, add the 2 wins, 7 and 5. It's not going to go this way, obviously, but it's just a projection. And again, based off of these projections, the Big 12 is going to have a bunch of 7 and 5 teams. I don't know. Maybe every team in the Big 12 will make it to a bowl game in these projections. That's obviously not going to happen either. But yeah, UCF projected to go 7 and 5 in 2023.